Hello everybody. My name is Suresh Verghis. I'm a leadership coach and training facilitator and faculty at Great Lakes Institute of Management. I help leaders change behaviors in order to elevate their performance and personal success. Sridhar?
Hey, thanks, Suresh. Hi, everyone. I'm Sridhar Krishnan. I'm based in Bangalore. I am a digital consultant specializing predominantly in the energy and utilities domain. When I'm not doing that, I like to reflect back on my nearly 30-year career and what I've learned from that and from observing others on what makes for good career management, what makes some leaders more effective than others, what makes for professional success, etc. And see if I can create shareable wisdom out of that. Thank you.
Ravi?
Thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm Ravi Bhuthapuri. You're based in Chennai, and I am a trainer, I'm a mentor, and I deliver workshops in leadership and management, including project management and design thinking and so on. I'm in this field to help people achieve success, both in their professional lives and be personally effective as well. Thank you.
G N?
Hi, I'm G N Radhakrishnan, also known as GNR. I am a visiting faculty at Great Lakes Institute of Management, Chennai, and I also do programs for school teachers and students of the 11th and 12th standard schools.
Great. How should one deal with rejection? And who would like to go first?
Okay, I'll start.
Yes, G N.
Right. Yeah. Rejection is actually an event, right? It is not the person. Invariably, when any rejection happens, we paint it on our own self. The mindset change that is required is to say that it is just an event. You have been rejected in that interview. That's it. You don't have to reject yourself. Our tendency due to our, whatever childhood issues that we had is we tend to reject ourselves. And this mindset shift has to happen if we have to handle rejection.
Ravi?
So since we are all in the world of business and professional life, I will interpret this word rejection as, we did not get an opportunity to deliver to our clients, or we did not get a promotion, or for some disappointments in our lives. Yes, it is going to be hard. We will take it personally because we care about our professional lives. And how can we not take it professionally? But what I have done, and I think this can work for others as well, is to reflect on what could have been the criteria by which I was not selected, that I did not make it. Maybe I can go back and look at what I had assumed in the first place. In other words, go back and improve the way I present my ideas, the way I network, the way I build consensus. I've learned that decisions are rarely made just on competence. That's not the only factor. There are other things that come into play as well. So what else can I do to build that momentum to help my decision, my way of thinking be adopted? And of course, there are many fish in the sea. If this opportunity is gone, it's okay. We take it in our stride and look at the next opportunity. I think one thing I would say is every failure, we need to work harder. That's the only way. And rejection can be a good thing, seen in that light. Thank you.
Sridhar?
Yeah, good points there from GNR and Ravi. I think rejection can take different flavors. I mean, it can happen in different ways. Could be a rejection in terms of I did not get a specific opportunity I was aiming for, or it could be even something as simple as, there is an interesting initiative going on. There is a meeting that I should have been part of, but I was not invited to it in the workplace. What does that say about me? Am I being rejected? Or it could even be, hey, we were in this meeting. I contributed 3 ideas and none of it was taken on board. The ideas were rejected. I feel rejected, right? It could be any one of those. There is a spectrum here of what rejection can mean. I just think that it starts with self-esteem, how I value myself, how I respect myself, which leads to self-confidence. And I think that's where rejection starts to play in, right? Self-confidence to me, there is an external and an internal manifestation of it. The external manifestation of self-confidence is how I project myself, how I come across, how I communicate, and how people perceive how confident I am. The internal manifestation of self-confidence is what's the sense of balance, what's the degree of balance that I maintain internally, right? So that I don't go too high when it's a good day or too low when it's a bad day. And that sense of balance I believe that is central to how I manage rejection. And it isn't an easy answer to how you manage rejection, but I think there is a long-term and a short-term aspect, meaning in the long term, it is important to build that mental resilience, that self-confidence through self-coaching, through the sorts of conversations I have in my own head, and I build that self-confidence eventually. But there is also on the day, the event that you spoke about. On the day when something happens, how do I manage it? To me, it's all about being aware of feelings, to acknowledge that, yes, I'm feeling anxious right now. It's okay. I'll let it subside. I'll monitor it. But it's also important to manage, to monitor my behaviors. You don't want to sulk. That never helps, for example. You don't want to take it out on somebody else or sort of be vindictive if you've been rejected. So there are different ways of doing it, but I do think it's important to take both that long-term building that mental resilience and that short-term view. But it is building on, Ravi, as you said, building on failures, drawing strength from what I'm good at, my accomplishments, the progress I've made, while at the same time working on the deficiencies that I have that I should acknowledge. So that's my take on that.
My take is that rejection is dealt with in different ways by different people. Some people are able to deal with it like, water off a duck's back, or some people are not able to deal with it so easily. They sometimes take many hours or even days to get over a episode of rejection. So irrespective of how one approaches rejection, I guess the only way to, first and foremost, deal with rejection is to not be fearful of it, which is to say that one has to be able to embrace rejection and not reject it, because the more you keep pushing it away, the more it can come to bother you. So embracing rejection is a great way by which to get used to it, to get used to that, lousy feeling that one can encounter, and slowly that feeling can fizzle away. It's probably like dealing with any other negative emotion or any other difficult emotion that one faces. So rejection is something that, like I said, many people are not able to handle, not able to deal with. And the only way I would think that they have to deal with it is not to push it away. The other thing is to be able to be more mindful about how rejection is beginning to overpower you, or how it's beginning to cripple you. What is it? Where is it slowing you down? And when rejection happens, is there a way by which I can tell myself that all is not lost? There's probably another way of doing things, or there's probably somebody else who would accept me. I mean, in sales and as trainers, we all know that when you sell, you knock on 100 doors, 10 doors might open, which means 90 doors shut themselves in your face. And out of the 10 doors, 5 might give you business. So therefore, when you approach life itself in that manner, so much so that you do not expect everybody to concede with what you're saying, or everybody to agree with what you're saying. However, you do have that at the back of your mind, that life is not all about acceptance all the time, everywhere, in communities, in societies, in work situations or personal situations, and so on. It can happen that I will be rejected, or it can happen that somebody may not agree with me, or might very directly tell me off, and so on. When I have that expectation, I probably am better prepared to deal with rejection. Others are able to deal with it as they progress through life and become more mature and evolved. They are able to deal with it in a better manner, I feel. Personally, I did have problems with rejection very early in life. But slowly over a period of time, I realized that, yeah, I mean, life is like that. And life is a mixed bag with acceptance and rejection that go hand in hand. And rejection doesn't mean entirely all is lost. Another thing I found is probably worth pursuing is, as I said, you don't push away rejection, but you embrace it. Now, if somebody says no, I do have an option of not walking away, but standing my ground and asking, okay, fine, but may I know why? That sort of a thing. Because for all you know, the person who said no might actually have a justifiable reason to say no, which didn't come out in the first place. And if you don't find out why, you might walk away with that bad feeling. But if you find out why, and if there's a proper justification that you will also accept, then you wouldn't feel so bad after all. So it's good to also find out, why was I rejected? So normally, when you meet a customer or when a proposal does not go through, you might say, fine, I mean, I accept that my proposal is rejected, but may I know why? I'd like to improve certain things if there's something you'd like to point out and stuff like that. So there's a lot to learn from rejection as well. And I guess every episode or every opportunity of rejection can also be converted into a learning opportunity. That's my take on rejection. Anything else? Anybody?
Yeah, I'd like to add just a small thing. The safest way to avoid all rejection is not to get out of bed, right? So the moment you step out of your house, the moment you meet clients, the moment you do anything in this world, there's a chance you will get rejected. So I think Michael Jordan had a wonderful quote that the reason he succeeds is because he failed thousands of times. And I take a lot of courage from that statement. The more you try, the more you will fail, but that's okay. That's the only way you learn, like you said, and that makes you stronger. That shows the world and to yourself that you actually took a risk. You went out and you tried. So if you stay very safe, you don't have to fail at all. There will be no rejections in your life, but you won't achieve them.
Wonderful.
Thanks.